Hey friends, Melissa Twig coming to you. Everything's rolling around. I am just about to hammer down on social media, but it's always going to look like this in case you're not in need of any assistance because you're not in the weeds with your health. I'm thrilled about that. But if you know someone that you love or care about, you would like for them to join us so that we can make a difference in the lives of these people who are suffering with a devastating diagnosis. So I had my teeth kicked in this week, and I wanted to tell you about it because I didn't sleep for like a night and a half because it disturbed me a little bit. But the truth is, I just had to pivot, and change things around, and it's not going to ruin anything. It's just interesting, and I think we can all learn something from it. So a beta reader is a person who reads your book after you finish reading it, after you finish writing it, or when you give it to your editor, and then it goes out to some people, and they edit. They kind of edit too, and they give you suggestions and all. Well, I made the mistake, and I knew this was a bad idea, but I needed the ego boost, so I gave it to most of my friends. But I did, and you know what they did? They're like, "Oh, it's so good," and my ego was just boosted. So, but the problem is that I didn't get enough critique, and so I did give it to one of my doctor friends. In fact, he's a kidney specialist, and he is, in fact, the way that we met was getting information from him about my best friend who got stage 4 kidney cancer, and he gave me some very valuable and vital information. So we've become friends, and I said, "Scott, do you mind taking a look at this?" He's retired now. And he said, "No, absolutely not." But he was ill at the time, so I didn't hear back from him. And he finally called, and we chatted about it. And he said, "Melissa, I know your goal is to get this in the hands of as many people as possible." And he said, "I know that you're trying to get it in hospitals and stuff." He said, "But I got to tell you something. People are going to be very, very nice to you, but you are not getting this into hospitals and doctors' offices and that kind of thing. It's just not going to happen." He said, "Because you mentioned prayer and you mentioned the Creator in there and that kind of thing." And he said, it's not gonna. I said, "But I didn't mention any particular religion." He said, "It doesn't matter. Let me tell you what happened to me." He said, "I had a patient for a very long time that came to me, and the patient said, 'What is this?' And he showed him a book, and he said, "I don't know." And it was a leaflet that was out in the lobby, and it was something that somebody had slipped under some magazines, where somebody was trying to get God in their life, or get God in the patient's life, or something like that. And he said, "I've been in church for 61 years," and he said, I'm good with God, but I don't come to the doctor's office to learn about God or to read stuff like this in the lobby." And I thought, man, I'd hate to know I was your preacher and you're a Christian. But anyway, so he said that he never did that again. They kept an eye on the lobby after that. Well, I said, "How many patients do you think you've had through the years, Scott?" And he said, "Oh, I know exactly how many patients I had. It's a little over 10,000. And I said, "Has anybody else ever acted like that?" And he said, "No." He said, "But he made such an impression." And I said, "Scott, look at that. You changed your world for one person, and 9,999 said nothing." And here's the problem with society today. The energy that man transferred was so powerful to you, and he followed it with so much passion that it affected you in a very negative way, and then you changed everything. And this is what's happening, right? Don't we know? And so anyway, he said, "But here's what you can tell him, Melissa." He said, "There's been studies done. I can put my hands on them," he said, "but there's been studies done where the preacher or the clergyman, whatever, goes into the critical care, and they pray for this patient, skip a patient, pray for a patient, skip a patient. And they do that for 30 days or whatever it was. I don't remember what he said with the study. We talked about so much stuff. But anyway, he said, the patients who got prayed for, sure enough, they healed quicker and they lived longer." And the doctors are scratching their head. And I said, "Yeah, because prayer is delivered with passion, especially if it's done right. It's delivered with passion, and energy with passion behind it is what is really transferred so much better." So the same negativity that he had is the same positivity that they had. And the truth is, I ain't changing my book. Listen, when I found out that I had a problem at 4:25, I remember it distinctly. The doctor walked out. And I went straight to God, and I said, "God, I'm in the weeds here. And here we are. And I think you know exactly what's going on." I did think that. And I felt in my heart of hearts that it was a warning sign. It was a speed bump. It was it was something that was supposed to happen. And I just said to God, there's nothing left on my earthly bucket list other than to draw closer to you. I want you closer. I've been seeking you all my life, and I'm trying. I've been to church, and here I am. I need to hear from you. I need to know you, really know you better than I ever have before. And so many wonderful things have happened to me, including this book. Look, this book came through me. It didn't come to me. It came through me. And part of it is about my experience with praying and getting closer to God. And I think that's important to share. Now, is it going to touch everybody's life? No. It's not, but let me tell you this, if you're a person who's hurting, sick, or ill right now, there has never been a better time to try things that you've never tried before or get closer to things that you've never tried. And I'm telling you, there's some things in here that you never would have thought about. And so that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So this came through me, just one more answer to God, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life in service to others, which is exactly what I do. I really don't care what anybody thinks about it. My love language is acts of service, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life serving people who are suffering with a difficult or devastating diagnosis. And I think that's the reason why I was touched by cancer. And if you're touched by any disease, doesn't matter if it's Alzheimer's or if it's ALS, whatever it happens to be, it came in your life, and there's some things you've got to learn from that. And some of those things is opening up, looking and trying things that you maybe have never tried before. So I want to tell you that I am just pivoting now. I'm thinking to myself, we got, the hospitals that are Catholic and Christian and the Christian bookstores and that kind of thing. But I'm going to stop calling all the other hospitals and societies, and they're going to be nice. And I do say, share this with anybody that needs, any friend that needs. And they always are so beautiful and say, this is gorgeous and it's very, very helpful. But they can't do it, unfortunately. So I'm going to be terminally_optimistic on TikTok. And I'm 61 years old. And I'm about to have my first TikTok channel ever. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going all in. I'm going to do exactly what I'm hearing the professionals say that I should do. Eventually, I'll sell the books on there. It's not the most important thing for me to do right now is get the books in as many people's hands as I can. So July 1st is the day, and I'm terminally optimistic Twig with Melissa Twig on Facebook too. So please go there, like, subscribe, follow whatever they say on the particular platform, and let's build this. And you know what? With all the negativity going on today, wouldn't you like to be part of something bigger than you and touch a life? It's all there. It's all there, and we can do it together. I look forward to our next talk. Make sure to write me. Make sure to ask questions, and I'm going to answer them, and I can coach you too. We're going to coach some people and learn some people's stories as well. So I look forward to it. See you guys soon.